we podcasting?
I believe we're podcasting. Thanks for joining us at the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast. Friendly reminder, if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and subscribe to this bad boy.
Yeah.
Evidently, it gets everybody a real boner.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
It would give us a boner if you'd tell your friends. And
doesn't want to give us a boner. And if you want to watch us, you can go to the YouTubes, and we're there.
It's basically the only tube left.
What does that mean?
Because I don't know. It's not just TV anymore. It's all streaming.
I know. It's called cable. I love how we're like, you guys, we're in the future. We have all these little buttons that we can press. I'm like, we also used to just have them on one place, and you would, with your remote, click down. And if you subscribe to HBO, it would be right above.
Oh, a remote. Fancy.
You remember? No,
you didn't have the big, like, fake wood thing on the top of your TV that had, like, buttons that you had to hard push and they
I'm
pop
only
up.
32, Jen. I don't know to which you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
I forgot.
Do you know what I'm talking about? We're so like caught up with all these streamers and they're all apps. And we used to just do it on cable and it was so much easier. We were like, I think it's hilarious that we're like, you know what? Let's dismantle it, make each thing its own thing. So then we have to help our parents figure out how to upload Disney Plus when they don't have a smart TV. I'm not talking about my parents, but I might be talking about one that I acquired in marriage.
Yeah.
And
I'm having a issue with my husband because he goes to bed at 6:30 some nights. Not truly, but he goes to bed early.
That's my dream. I think we're all fools.
Look, I have in the last year, which is totally new for me, because I'm like,
you're a night owl.
At 8 o'clock, I'm like, should I just do some lines and do crafts or something?
Yeah.
No, I've never done lines, you guys.
I will not comment on my participation in that.
Well, my energy is really taking a deep dive. Sometimes I'm like, I should take some allergy meds just to give me a little bit of,
do a little espresso shot, if you will.
It's just leaning into the oldness, so much so that this is the argument I have with my husband. Subtitles or no subtitles? Because I love them.
I hate them.
I know you and my husband you're alike in a lot of ways. Like,
yes.
And I do think it's because he's got a smidge of neurospicy too. Like,
it distracts me.
But the weird thing is they both listen to music while they like do intense focused writing or something, which I cannot do. If somebody's breathing too loud around me, I can't handle it.
It depends. If I have a few things going, it makes me feel like, I think I'm a baby with a vacuum running where I like feel comforted.
Oh, okay.
But then if I really have to focus, oh my gosh, you guys, I almost just sneezed and we would get on camera, which is my dream. To record, see myself sneeze.
Wow.
Damn, I just talked myself out of it. Son of a gun. Okay. Oh, so close. Dreams.
But
been waiting my whole life.
He's distracted by subtitles and I need them, because if he falls asleep before, and this is the weird thing, because I feel like he's very hard to rustle, but if he falls asleep while the show's on, I need the subtitles because I'm going to turn the TV down really low so it doesn't wake him up.
You're nice. I wouldn't.
And when I go to the Apple thing and I hold the microphone and I go, turn on subtitles, he goes, what? Because he just is like, like he's just fallen asleep. So I'm like,
I'm watching it. I'm watching.
I'm like, can we just put him on before you fall asleep? It's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. Let's not play this game.
My husband likes to audible when we're watching a show. And I'm like, can you stop for a second? And then it gets feisty. Like he'll want to like give his 411 on what's happening. And I'm like, you don't know. It's a new episode for both of us, but your freaking VO is not working for me.
Yeah. Do a after show podcast.
Yeah.
buddy.
I'm like, let's post show it. But right now I want to be in it. I don't want, he was like, that actor, he was in Office Space. And then he also was in.
Oh, my husband does that too through the whole thing. He goes, what's that guy?
What's the guy?
You see that guy standing in the back eating an ice cream cone or something like that? I'm like, I don't know who the leads are. I don't know their names.
Or my husband will be like, yeah, that was a really scary time in American history. In 1932, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. It's supposed to be a love story. It's all pretend. They're wearing costumes.
I'm just trying to give you context.
Yeah, you're ruining it.
The social economic.
Yeah, I'm hoping they bang. That's what I need right now. Can't get through ACOTAR. I'm trying so freaking hard.
Hey, while we have a third camera, can you see the huge white head that I had on the side of my nose today? I am between worlds, you guys.
You do not have a
I
she always says
did.
this. Here's
I
what Jen
did.
said. She's like, "Oh my God, can you see this giant cyst on my chin?" And it's perfectly fine. And then I will have one and I'm like, it's like one of those underground suckers. And it like will make my lips stick together. It's so big. It's like, do you see that thing on my
What she
mouth?
did, she's like, I have layers and layers of makeup on at that point, and you just like,
Sometimes I don't wear makeup at all. I don't
yeah,
know who I think I am. That is not me saying I don't
it's
need it.
very
It's just
confident.
me saying
No,
I don't care
I
anymore.
think you don't need it most of the time.
My Eleanor's so sweet to me. She's like, "Mommy, you don't even need makeup."
I'm telling ya, you don't.
I
She's
think
so
Finn's
sweet.
like, "You could use mascara."
She
Just
needs
kidding.
to come stay at my
Yeah,
house for a
she's
bit. Mine are kicking my ass. Can I tell you what my daughter did today?
I caught Delilah being a little feisty, and I
Last
was like,
night?
"Aunt
Thank you.
Kristen," I said, "Aunt
Yeah.
Kristen stepped in a little bit," which I think is like
She called me old.
she called her out, and I go to Miss Delilah. It's my teacher voice. I go, "Miss Delilah, that does not make your mom feel good about herself. You should say things that make her feel good about herself. That's your job."
Yeah, I appreciate that because I had told her the night before or whatever, I was like, "Don't say that, it's mean."
Well, it makes us feel, and it's the little things that like they catch on to like your insecurity. Finn catches on to he'll go, we'll look at pictures on the TV with the Apple device. We'll look at old pictures, and there is a picture of him at a school function, and he's dressed like he's wearing like leaves and stuff. It's like some sort of fall
Aw.
festival. And he's like, "I remember you weren't there." And I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
Finn, you're right. I wasn't there. I was on the road. I was on tour. But every time this picture comes up, you like to remind me
Yeah, you
that
say
I
that.
wasn't at this one. I've been at every other one. I've been at all of them and a few practices. So I'd like to say we're
We're
fair.
good,
We're
yeah.
good.
I think what they do is they see your reaction to it,
Yeah.
and Delilah thinks it's funny, like, because sometimes she'll say something about my age or old, and, like, I'll go, "Oh, well," just
Yeah.
not gonna, like, not everything's a learning moment. It's not an opportunity for me to teach her. And so I think that like she saw me irritated enough and thinks it's funny,
Yeah.
because she is.
She's trying out her hot five,
She's my,
as they do.
yeah. Like I tweeted about her going, "Mom, I'm gonna start a club at school called the Social Historical Information Team.
You're like,
Think about it. SHIT is
oh,
the acronym for
I
it."
did not get that. She could have literally made an invitation and said, "Everybody, let's go. We're going to talk about shit." And I'd be like, "That's the acronym."
Yeah.
That's not her fault. That is clearly not her fault. The person that bugs me about age the most is my husband. It's not my kids.
Oh,
It's my husband.
man.
He
Oh,
rounds up.
Yeah.
He rounds up. He'll round up in decades sometimes. I'm like,
What?
"Yo, bro.
What?
Yo, bro. I don't know what you're doing right now, but do not, if I am 2 years away from that next number, we are going lower or right on the number." He thinks they're all the same. Oh, he's
Not.
just ripping my life away slowly.
Well, here's what Delilah did this morning that oh gosh. Okay. So sometimes I disagree with her creatively. It's going to happen, right? And she last night was like, which is the first I've ever heard her say this before. It's career day at school. She
Oh
goes, "I
boy.
want to be an actor." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So immediately my brain starts
You're
going.
like, "Shakespearean. Let's
Yeah.
get you a beret and a feather and a quill."
I was like, but in like real life, like, what do I need to do to support and facilitate that? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, it's too early for this. It's too."
She's like,
Okay, so she puts on like that very fancy dress I think that you gave us that's like
oh yeah,
got the was from like a wedding or something?
yep. A wedding that
An
didn't
almost
happen.
wedding.
An
Okay.
almost wedding. Those are my favorite. Been in a lot of them. I've not been in a lot of them.
So she wore that with a Miss America sash that she made
Okay.
and wanted a crown. And I was like, what actor? Like, what?
Okay. Well, maybe she's
She's like, "I'm an actor who's
playing a queen.
playing Miss America." And I was like, "Okay, you're going to have to explain that to everybody because like, I'm like, I don't want you to get shit for saying I want to be Miss America at school. Like, kind of,
Why?
wouldn't people be jerks about that?
Who cares?
I don't know.
Man, send her as an improviser. Just give her like an ironic
I
t-shirt,
gave her
jeans,
some
and Chuck Taylor's.
Converse and a flannel shirt,
Like
oversized
no romantic
glasses.
interest until
Yeah.
like 28. Yeah, it'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, if I could just get a suggestion of something smaller than a bread box.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. So listen, I'm tired. I'm not killing it as a parent, but I supported her. I found shiny tights for her. I did all this stuff, you
You
know.
do
I
what you
did
do.
okay. We're running a little bit late though because she had to wear makeup because actors wear makeup and
Okay.
she's not allowed to wear makeup to school.
I
So
feel like she's
planned it.
I feel like there's no career day. She just wanted to wear this and she
Oh,
told you
we
it's
pulled
career.
up and guess what?
It's not career
It
day.
wasn't career day. And we
Oh.
had 5 minutes to spare. And part of me was like, I think this is a good like lesson. This might be a teachable moment because I was like,
Take it away, my friend. Take
plus
it away.
everybody has a kid. I have a friend that like lets their kids sleep in their school clothes because that particular child is impossible to get ready in the morning. So she's like, what can I do to just get it ready? Like, well, just does all these things to like get the kid ready. And Delilah, I'm like, let's please do this the night before. I run down homework. We run down
Yeah.
outfit.
Always
We gotta
night
have
before.
everything
Always
ready.
night before.
Okay. So she didn't do that. I would have checked the date for her. But
She got the date wrong. She wasn't just
well, she goes, oh, wait, what's today? And then she got tears in her eyes. She goes, I can't be the only one dressed up. So I was like, okay, we're going to be late. And it was the first time that child has been late for school in her life. And that is a thing for me.
Yeah.
It's a freaking thing for me.
Yeah.
That she's not late. We live too close to school for her
Act
to be
like
late.
it's career day, Delilah.
Actors come early.
Actors come early. They like being weird. Trust me.
Because I've been saying, you know, like on time's 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
On time's late, you know, if you're whatever that. You know,
My husband and I run very differently on that.
I know.
I'm
Mine
like
too.
15 minutes early and I'm calm and I'm not breathing hard. My
Get your
husband
coffee
is
time.
exactly on time and it looks like he's been in a gerbil's
Sweating
wheel.
through his shirt.
Yeah,
I know.
sweating through his shirt.
Stressed out. He's
Breath,
like
you know,
taking
the kids
the
are
sidewalk part
the
of the
kids
way.
all look haggard, like they've been through like a New York City
I don't-
street, like really busy,
I
you
don't
know.
wanna do it. I don't
Yeah,
want to do it.
I don't either. I don't think it's the right thing to do. You got to teach them to be
So-
early.
I turn around, bring her back home. I said, you go inside and you pick the first clothes you see, put them on.
Okay, can I go dressed as a military soldier? Can I go dressed as a unicorn?
So
Can
she-
I go dressed?
Can-
What
can I
about a
tell you the
Quaker?
thing that makes me mad about it? There's so many things that make me mad about it. Most of them you could probably talk me out of, honestly. But she made the poster for student council that said what day everything was. And she messed up the day.
As someone who can easily mess up dates and and has shown up
I know. And also,
has shown up to people's houses a day early for an event and they looked at me like, what are you doing?
Wait,
And I
is
was
it
like,
today?
is it not today? I'm so sorry. And then me and the family have to go back into the,
yeah,
I've done that more times than I care to admit.
yeah.
I am that
Yeah,
person.
I know. I say all the time to my husband when he's getting frustrated, and he says it to me. She's 9. She's 9. Like she's 9. So like there's a lot of
I do think that 9 is one thing. With Eleanor, I think that like she's 11 feels like, oh, she's 11, almost 12.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shit going down that I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
plus you know what they're capable of.
Yeah, like if it really came down to, if I said, Eleanor, I want you to go pick out an outfit from Temu. I need it delivered on this date. I need all. He
Dialed
would
in.
have it dialed in. She would send
Yes.
me links.
Yeah.
She would, if there was no power in our house, she would build a grid to
Yeah.
find a way to power her iPad. She would come up with ways to source energy from the sky
Yeah.
to do her iPad. But if it is like, hey, can you please get the ick out of your undernails? Or
Oh,
can
forget
you,
it.
like, don't blow me off when I tell it's not suggestions. These are real things. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't do anything that she's supposed to do last night when we were hanging out. And I was
Well,
like,
that was the thing. That's why I felt
Yeah.
bad about it because we were working on
although
stuff
we
and-
did have a really good time.
Can I tell you the
Yes.
punchline to
Yes,
this?
please.
Bring her home, changes clothes.
Oh, no.
She's 5 minutes late for school. I drop her off and she very casually, leisurely, and I pull up the car, roll down the window. I'm like, run! What are you doing? You know,
You better make it look like you're hustling it.
Yeah,
If-
like
I
it
cannot
matters.
stand when somebody saunters when there's a time.
Oh God!
You
Well,
are
guess what?
asking me to like turn inside out.
I get home. I'm going through checking my messages because it's been a chaotic morning. I look on a post in WhatsApp from the school. It's career day.
Oh shit.
So I tell Britt, I go, God, I was very tight-lipped, angry with her, gave her a long speech on the way home. And she
Well,
was
still
doing
on her,
well, I
right?
know, but she's doing her best, and so he goes, "Okay, I'll bring it up to her."
Good God.
So that's how my day is going.
Well, you're doing your best. We're all doing our best. I can't tell you how much I fricking love uniforms.
No, but but don't you have, like, spirit days where you
Yeah,
gotta do
Eleanor
that
won
stuff
it.
like that?
Yeah, she
She
won it.
did?
Yeah, she won it.
Oh, it's a contest?
She's all in. Yeah,
Oh.
she loves it. But the rest of the time they have to wear uniforms. And I think she looks so cute because she'll have these like long shorts, gray shorts with this like, collared shirt and whatever. She gets in the car and she's wearing leggings underneath because it's kind of cold.
Yeah.
She gets in and she's like, I hate this uniform. I look like a Quaker.
Well, that school's working
Well,
to know what a Quaker is at
you
age
know
11
what?
is
I like that you made a historical reference
Yeah.
and you're not wrong.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
get that from Dad?
Yeah, there you go. You guys have been not watching a lot of television. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, okay, so last night we
had
fun
a
working
really
on
fun thing.
Oh, yes, which we're going on tour, like, now.
Yeah.
So you need
Yep.
to go
Oh, don't
to
say that. I'm going to crap my pants.
go to IMOMSOHARD.com, get your tickets, ladies. Come see us. Bring your friends.
It's
a good
been
time.
a really fun time building this show. So part of it is it's the flashback tour. So obviously we're talking a lot about like what it was like for us when we were in middle school.
Yeah.
What were formative. And the thing that I think is the biggest time machine, maybe more than a smell, like, is songs, our songs. Like,
Totally.
because I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you put white diamonds in front of me, I have so many goddamn memories because my
Yep.
mom got me a gift set. Who gets white diamonds when they're in 7th grade? I do.
You do.
And a lot of lonely memories is what I'll say. But Elizabeth Taylor. What is
An
it?
intriguing
An intriguing fragrance by Elizabeth Taylor.
It is it's intriguing because you're like, why is this?
But last night we were like trying to go through songs that just, and it is
Oh, yeah.
incredible when you go deep dive songs, how many of these songs that you think you don't know and you know every damn word.
Well, I think it's like your memory is so good, which it's supposed to be. Like when you're really young, your brain is a sponge.
Yeah, don't play
in that it's
memory with
like-
a kid and put
Oh my
any
God.
money on that game. They will ruin you.
I put the radio on and the kids are singing every single word to a song that I've never heard. It's like
Yeah.
a new song. And I'm like, well, I'm in the car with you.
HOTTOGO.
Oh, that one I know. There's these other that just, I'm like, how do you know this? And also don't say those words, because
Well, they did not care when we were growing up, but we just had the grand time of having filthy hairbands.
that's
When-
the thing. It's like
Ugh.
now I don't, my brain is a sponge in that it has like holes in it. Like I got like mad cow disease. Like it's not retaining shit.
I know, because the music is different and we can all just admit that. I really do believe that like Gen X, or as I like to call us, the Goonies generation, the music catalog is so, the thing that we have
It's
figured out,
varied.
it's so vast and it's so diverse. You have R&B, you have hip hop, you have heavy metal, you have,
beginnings of rap in there.
oh my God, beginnings, you had like all the OG guys.
But
you have
also-
Tupac, you have Biggie.
Your mom's music too. That you
Right,
used
then
to
you're
li-
forced to listen to like 70s rock or the
Yeah.
Mandrells. I can freaking
Oh my God, I
sing a
loved
Mandrell
it.
song.
They had their own show. I
They-
loved it. I
of
was
course they
obsessed
did,
with
and we
that
watched it all the
show. Oh my
time.
God.
And then you go into like hair
The
bands.
Boone sisters,
That's a deep
Debbie
cut.
Boone.
That's a deep cut.
You love Debbie
I
Boone.
do know who
this
Debbie
is,
Boone is.
This is my favorite part about doing this last night with Kristen was I go, don't you know this song? She'd go, I don't know that song. And I'd put it on and she would sing every single
Yeah.
word,
Yeah.
like fists in the air.
Yeah.
But Debbie Boone did so many nights I'd sit by my window waiting for someone to sing me his song.
This was me as my mom was listening to it.
You
Just take me out.
light up
My
my life.
life. You give me hope to carry on. Ew.
See, you know all the
I know.
fluctuations in the
I
way
know.
that they sing it and stuff. It's crazy how
I know.
segmented it
Our
gets.
catalog is vast, but I still think as we go back, one of the treasured times that you just don't get anymore are hair bands. Like
Yes.
everybody still celebrates all the old school OG hip hop.
Yeah,
we
we
all
still
love
listen
it.
to
We
it.
still listen to it. The
get
kids
it.
still listen to it. But we need to go back into, I'm sorry, Skid Row, Sebastian
Okay,
Bach.
thank you. And here's
His
the time I would like to, can I defend myself? I've expressed this to Kristen before, how my husband is 8 years older than me, and his taste in
is
music,
garbage.
he would fight you to the death for
But I
saying
don't
that.
think he is
It's not,
the typical, but there is that age group that was like really into like, I think U2 and
it's,
like,
it's spot on for somebody 8 years older
right, but
than
there's
me.
like 5 bands. Ours is
Right.
like 500.
It's, and so when I know the words to every, and I do have love for these hair bands, I get a lot of shit around my
He
house.
didn't get to be part of it, which was being a 7th grade girl looking at these guys. Guys, we know it's wrong. Unapologetically.
filthy.
Filthy. Just freaking V-necks and wearing cod pieces that are
Not
Steven
even
Tyler.
V-necks, not shirts.
just
A lot. It was,
backing on a woman in an elevator that he just met, and I came to life
she was
sexually.
shirtless, you guys. Okay,
Just
we got to break this
wearing
down.
a
We're
darn
overwhelmed because
song for no reason in an elevator. Love in an
you
elevator.
have never
and
seen
I am.
two middle-aged women get more
I was
hyped
like,
up
is this
last
getting
night than
weird?
watching. Yes, it was. I was like, are we going to kiss? 'Cause
Yeah, are we
there's
gonna
nobody-
kiss? Or my pants are alive for the first time
So
in
we were like, we
years.
started off with Sebastian Bach.
Oh, the
And
jawline on the guy. And I know
Skid
he's a
Row.
dickhead. We know this.
Is he? How do we
was.
know?
Well, he got a
Oh.
lot of heat at one point for being like, he said, I don't know why I know this. I don't know
Okay.
why I know this. He
Well.
said shitty things during the AIDS crisis. That makes him
Oh
a bastard.
yeah, I do.
But
remember.
I'm talking about who he is up front as he's singing to me with that jawline and his fucking hair flying all
was
over
young.
those goddamn leather pants.
It was sort of. It wasn't punk rock in the like
No, it was
musical
all like,
type. It was punk rock in the like
wanna take you to bed. That's not their song.
counterculture. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the guy that your parents
Would have
died if you dated.
killed you. Meanwhile, all of their, I would just like to say a couple things. First of all, what I know now is they all know 3 chords. That does
That's
not make
right,
you a
yeah.
good musician. I
Yeah.
know 3 chords, but still so hot. The other thing is, does anybody ever make a music video pre-89 that isn't $17 in the garage with black floors, black walls,
That's
and
all you
just one
needed.
scarf being blown in the background, and they're sitting backwards on a chair like singing their anthem, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Let's put
you
it-
are superstars. Now I know that overall cost was $17 to make that video.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Guns N' Roses started it. I remember the first time I saw that
Ugh.
video. I was
Which
'cause,
one?
Sweet Child of Mine. You remember? There's like feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Slash plugging in that his.
Well, they were
guitar
doing
into
that
the
though.
anthem.
Like
It was-
Trickster, all those guys were like in somebody's basement. I think they were all like rotating out. They were like, let's use my dad's garage. We
Yeah.
got 4 different hair bands shooting the same album, and all the music sounds the same, and I don't
Yeah.
care.
It was low budge, but it was like, God,
Ugh,
it was heavenly.
filthy.
So Sebastian
So
Bach,
good.
at one point, he always wore these same like loosely fastened leather pants, and it really,
And he didn't wear underwear.
no, he did not.
They were
would hang
molded
low
to him.
sometimes.
They
Yeah,
were
they would.
molded to him.
Yeah,
And I was like, what am I looking at?
I do-
Disgusting. I know.
I remember my babysitter one time. We were watching the Van Halen jump video, and he's got
Oh.
those red pants. And when he
Oh.
kicks, she goes, "Look at his pants," and I was like, "Ew!" Now I
Oh.
watch that video, and I'm like,
Oh,
I can't look away from his pants.
I just knew everything that was happening was against the rules, and it made me feel alive and awake and reckless. And I would listen to it, and my mom would be like, "What are you listening to?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know. I'd listen to Poison. My mom would look at the album cover and be like, "Who are those ladies?" I don't know who they are.
my mom actually got it though, because my mom was so in love with Elvis, and
Oh yeah.
my mom, I think
Yeah.
there's 2 kinds of parents. There's the ones that are like, don't listen to that. And then there's my mom who's like, I felt this, trying to relate. And I was
Yeah.
like, and she'd
Don't
go,
you try to relate
she's
to
like,
me.
oh, I just loved Elvis. Oh, Dewey, do you remember that song? He'd sing and I'd be, nope. Your experience and my experience are very different, Terry. Thank you so
No,
much.
But exactly. the
Move it
same.
on.
Yeah, because he was in trouble for like wiggling his hips and stuff like that.
Wiggling his hips, he gyrated. They wouldn't even show it on the Ed
It's-
Sullivan
it's
show.
pretty hot.
I
yeah.
mean, I think that's
it's-
how he was a lovemaker. Like he would
Well,
do that in the
yes.
sack.
I'm
Right?
1000% sure. Yeah.
Okay. I just knew
that's why
that.
I liked Steven Tyler in the Love in an
Oh,
Elevator video. Who knew? And now to know, we've all seen him as a judge on American Idol. That guy's got
stands the test of time.
very kind, great grandpa.
Still hot.
Yeah.
76 years old, and I'm like,
Incredible. I just like him for more reasons now.
it just felt like a filthy time that you kind of can't go back to because we know better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different. The music sounds different. Maybe it's more elevated. I don't know. But those hair bands, they had a moment in time. They were so formative. It was kind of like they were one thing, and then you knew what you needed to be the other. You know what I mean? It was like, it was pretty easy math.
Well,
wear the sluttiest top and the smallest shorts, and maybe show them your boobs.
Yeah.
And that would get you on the tour bus. Never going to happen to me because my boobs didn't come in. Never got to go to one of those shows. I did go to Warrant, Trickster, and Firehouse. And Firehouse threw me his pick, and I think my pants exploded.
Yeah.
In the mosh pit, I was like, that's it. That guy's probably like a car dealer at this point.
I don't remember who the opening band was, but it was then Brittany Fox, and then it was Poison, and it was at the Omaha Civic Auditorium, which back in the day you could.
That's where I went.
There would be like a cloud of smoke.
Oh yeah,
in there. And my dad, who was the parent who was like,
lean into this music.
Any kind of music. He just loved music. So like I could have said I wanted any album and he would have bought it because he was like, you're like curating your taste in music and stuff right now. Let's just see what sticks.
Yeah, I don't think my parents were that. It just depended. It depended on, is that the word? Am I saying that wrong grammatically?
What?
Depended?
It depended.
Depended? Is it my having to?
Having to.
I think for my mom, I mean, in all fairness, we can agree. Quiet Riot. Come on, hear the noise.
Feel the noise, yeah.
Come on, feel the noise.
I wanted to feel
Girls,
that noise.
rock your boys. Per Jen, it is spelled
C-U-M. It is. Look it up. Look it up on the internet, you guys. But that wasn't the title of the album. You had to read the back of the album.
Right. So on some level, I'm like, my mom and dad, my mom in particular, had a certain like level of parenting that she was doing, but like,
look at me go, oh,
yeah,
sure.
I think my mom was very anti-Madonna, so then I was like, I love Madonna.
Oh, of course.
Oh my God. Like a virgin. I was like, I don't even know what virgin means.
I will say that because the Grammys were so amazing this year.
Yes.
And I compared the Grammys this year to that MTV Music Awards where she did the Like a Virgin. It was like very early on where she crawls across the floor in the big,
and
like,
got the big
dress,
puffy tulle dress.
Boy toy. But you watch it now, I wouldn't watch it with my kids at the age I watched that. Like, she is like.
I mean, she's a rebel. That's what music is. It's rebellious. I have rules with my kids that they just can't listen to certain music with certain words in it because I feel like that as they get older, it's just not for right now. But I really am kind of like, I mean, when there's a cuss word in a song in the car, they perk up before I do because they're like, oh, you know.
It makes you uncomfortable around your parents. And like, I know that they hear them because Delilah's like, oh, this isn't the clean version. Like when it comes on but they are at the age, and Delilah way earlier than Dash, just because she's the second sibling. And, you know, at that point you're like
fast and loose.
Yeah. She asked me, why can't I watch, shoot, what was it?
Squid Game?
No, God, what was it? It was something that had a lot of, I knew it had a lot of like sexual innuendo to it, like kissing.
Oh, Sabrina Carpenter has a couple where she does like this thing. The kids asked me if they could go to her concert, and I'm like, no, man, I know what one of those songs looks like. And Finn goes, Mom, all she does is there's like a sheet that you can see through, and she's on a bed and she lays down and her legs are up. And I'm like, well, if it's okay with you, sir, I would prefer not to go to that live, be standing next to other kids that are watching this live and have to explain to other parents why you're
two hands
with me.
to cover eyes.
Okay, like it's just along all of.
Well,
Big no.
That's what I told Delilah. I'm like, some of those things are just going to be no's, and probably the reason I will revert to, and I hear myself.
And we hate ourselves.
Yeah, but I said, some of those things you don't understand well enough to take lightly. And when you watch that and things are like, they're like, people are flip about sex and things.
Yeah.
You can't understand all of that. So I want you to like, you can't make jokes about stuff you don't understand.
Oh, welcome to the world of middle school.
And
that's all middle school is making jokes about shit you don't know about. I always tell my son, I go, do you even know what that means?
No, I don't.
He's like, I didn't know. And then I'm like, let me turn off the car. Let me turn the car, pull the car over and lose my shit on you once again because you're saying stuff you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but Delilah does that same thing too. I think Dash was, and so Dash and his friend Virginia were in the car with Delilah, and she had heard a kid say, gay, like in a negative, like,
yeah,
you're gay or whatever.
Man, that was part of our growing up. That was the
and I'm sure
we had a few words that I'm like
crazy.
Yeah.
But like now I would be like, well, don't say that. That's not cool, man. Don't say it like it's a negative. Like saying,
we know more. We know from our generation that we were neglected.
Insult. Yeah. So she heard that, and then so we're waiting for the middle school kids, and then she hears somebody say fuck or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Which she's like, why can't I listen to your podcast? I'm like, because that's where mommy lets the air out of the balloon. Because I need to. Yeah. But so she hears it, and the Virginia did a really good job of explaining to my daughter for me. She goes, you're going to hear it a lot, and you got to decide like if you're going to be the person who says that stuff or the one who doesn't, you know? And I'm like, I like that.
100% sure both of my kids are going to just let it rip.
I don't think so.
I think so, because my son accidentally butt dialed me, which is, he should just know that's in our genetics.
He butt dials me. No, he didn't.
He 100% will accidentally text, butt dial. I'm like, it's in the cards for you because that is my life.
One of your defining characteristics.
He called me and I was like, hi, bud. And then I could like watch, in his pants, like as he's like walking, and I could hear him like John with like his buddies or whatever. And I heard someone drop the F-bomb and it wasn't him. And like, he's having this conversation. And then I hung up the phone and I texted him and I said, Finn, I just want you to know that you accidentally dialed me. And I could hear your whole conversation. And you should have seen him. He looked like he was like ready to confess that he just robbed a bank. He was like, I don't know what you heard, but I go, well, if that's the case, then you should be careful about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you choose to have that garbage language and I hear it, you're in trouble. Well, that's all you got to know.
That's what I think about him, is that I think like when he gets the rules, he won't want to go against it, because he's kind of.
He's a rule follower.
Yeah. I think Eleanor will be like, I don't see her doing it.
I don't know.
I don't.
If Eleanor finds, Eleanor got blocked.
She got blocked? What? Sweet little Eleanor got blocked?
This is Eleanor telling this story. I met a new friend at school. She gave me her number, so we were texting each other. And then I texted her a devil, and her mom blocked me because she said it was satanic or something.
Oh my God. Okay, Mom. Come on
like,
now.
Calm down, Mom. Like, I go, just to be clear, what exactly were you texting? And she's like, just the emoji with the devil on it. And I was like, all right, well, we do go to a Catholic school. Maybe like pump the brakes a little bit. But so now Eleanor's like blocked from iPadding. I think it's a little extreme. I agree with you.
I think it's more than a little extreme. I think that's a little bit.
A little nuts.
Yeah.
And also,
come on. It's like a cartoon devil.
Also, like, we're fools if we think that we can protect them from everything. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like,
that's the thing.
It's the hardest part about parenting, is figuring out where you can safely put them and let them. Like, I took Eleanor to the Olivia Rodrigo concert, and I was like, I cannot say enough about Olivia Rodrigo, where this music hits Eleanor right where all of the music for us hits us.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect like combination of her being like, she's dressed really cool. She's a little sexy, but it's not I just thought it was a perfect introduction into music that makes you feel rebellious, but it wasn't too much of a thing, where Madonna was just like, did not give a fuck. Like, we were
Different, yeah.
she was filthy and it was great, but
Yeah.
we were like
80s parents were like, how do I explain weird cones on boobs?
yeah, and, like,
Okay.
she's, gyrating and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and Olivia Rodrigo
That's
did
a
it
boy
great.
toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like, "Mom, what's a virgin?" My cousin
Yeah.
Jason
Oh,
was
yeah.
visiting, and my mom, like, got all pearl clutchy, and I was like, "Well, I'm onto something. I need to
Yeah.
know what this is about."
Yeah. Hmm.
But Olivia Rodrigo was all the music, like, the driver's license song,
Yes.
so angsty and
Yeah.
good, and seeing her, like, connect with that music, I was like, "Okay, I can't get pissed off at this live show if Olivia Rodrigo drops the F-bomb a couple times because I brought my kid to this show."
Yeah.
And I actually think it's kinda okay for Eleanor to experience a little bit of this rebellion. I'm in a safe space. I'm with her. She gets to, like, rock out. Like,
Yeah.
so many girls that were, like, 25 were, like, clutching their chests and, like, having a moment, and I was
Yeah.
like, "I'm here for this."
And I do tell the kids too. I'm sure I've explained this to everyone listening as though I'm trying to justify it like 1,000 times, but like I try to like the cussing thing for me and our family, it's like my thing, and I think the
It's
reason
fair.
is like there, and I say to them, there are going to be times where it's appropriate and that's the right word.
Right.
The wrong, this naughty word will be the right word in some moments, whether it's
It's
telling
very
a
not
joke
listen,
or
you're, like, on the scale where, like, I'm sure Casey growing up in Texas,
they said
like,
nothing, right?
I
Yeah.
man,
They
but
they
there's a
wouldn't even say GD, and they wouldn't
oh, no,
say
but that's what I wonder, like,
we don't say, "Oh my god," in our house either.
Colin said when he was growing up, he knew his mom was the maddest she's ever been at him when she said, oh god, it's the most tame thing. She's like, "You're being like a little shit," or like
Lily
hellfire or something.
livered.
Just like doggone it.
Yeah.
Like you daggone.
Dadgummit.
Yeah. And like, I'm like, man, what is it like if a southerner F bombs? Are you just like,
Yeah.
are you ready to fight? Is that where you're at? I'd love to have that kind of
Oh, I wanna see
limitation
that,
because
yeah.
then
In
you
like
know if someone's like, I want you to go to hell. That's like, those are like,
oh my
those
god.
ignite you.
Like a parking dispute outside of a Southern Baptist Texas church.
Oh
Like, what
God,
does
give
that
it
look
to me.
like?
I bet
You
that's fun.
you dummy.
Yeah,
You
I'll tell you right now, you're about to have the wrath of the Lord.
how dare
We're not making
you?
fun of anybody, by the way. My Casey's sitting right here, and
Yeah, no, she's laughing.
my husband's from there,
I mean, yes.
but
Yes.
he swears like a sailor, except when he's around his mama.
So that's the thing. That's why I tell the kids, I know it's weird that I dig in about this, but I want you to know that you can control when everybody else is doing this thing and it's really casual and it's really easy. You can decide not to do it, and like whenever people say like, "Oh gosh, I can't stop cussing." I'm like, "You wouldn't say that to a cop. You could fucking control it."
Yeah,
See, I couldn't control it right there, right? But you know what I mean? Like, if you got pulled over, you'd not be F-bombing to that
correct.
cop. So you can control it when you want to, you
Yeah, but
know?
then I would just like to say that I have 2 kids in middle school, and I cannot control
And so
it.
that's why we
And
podcast, so you can let her loose.
I will tell you, sometimes when you drop
They know
something,
you're
they
serious.
know you're
I
serious.
know, I know.
I mean, and I will use my kids have heard the F word. My kids have heard shit. My kids have heard damn, and that was just this morning. So I'm not perfect. I'm
Listen,
not
no.
defending myself. I'm just saying when I have come to that point in my
Yes.
frustration, I'm at my end. Like I'm
Yeah.
at my wit's end. If
Totally.
I don't do it for fun and I'm mad.
100%. And listen, I'm not
And
I'm
I
not like
think I'm right.
proselytizing whatsoever. Because I lost it this morning and felt bad about it. I did not swear, but I could have controlled my tone with my daughter. Like I
Oh,
could
come
have,
on.
like didn't need to.
We're trying so hard. Our
Yes.
parents didn't try this hard.
No,
Are you kidding?
think about it.
Are you kidding me?
I've thought more today about parenting than
Then-
mine have in their entire lives.
I'll tell you something that my parents did never lose sleep over any reactions they had to anything. In a
God, no.
million years.
God, no.
Did I ever hear either one of them go, look, I got a little mad. I'm really sorry. I think it was always like, what'd you do wrong? This is your fault. Like they were not, the fallout was like, if you did something and they got mad at you, you had it coming, period, full stop. There
Oh,
was
yeah.
no, oh, I'm going to rethink this, or I'm going to read a book about how to be a better parent. No.
God,
Unless the
nothing.
book said Daniel Steele finer things,
They're not
or
cracking
at
that
a
book.
or reading the
Absolutely not.
newspaper. But I also think what that was, like, because we've been talking about this so much. My parents, I think my mom and dad, they were really young.
They were so young.
They're
That's so
really young.
like, my dad was in his 40s
I
when I
know,
was
isn't
born.
that
It's
crazy?
crazy.
It blows my mind when I see pictures of my mom. I showed Jen my photo album
God,
that
she's
my
a
mom,
baby.
she's a baby.
It's
She was
crazy.
22, 21 when she had
20,
me,
yeah.
22. And to think about the fact that she was only 30 when I was like, I
I
can't.
think about that all the time because I don't know what kind of parent I would have been had I had a child at 20. I mean, I hope I would have figured it
And she
out,
had
but
so much to handle because, the rules of the game were a little different back then.
yeah.
Like, it was okay for dad to go after work to get a drink at the bar,
Oh, yeah.
hang with the bros, but my mom was working full time as a teacher. And
Yeah.
then later on, she goes to find out that not one of us, but all three of us have a sweet case of attention deficit disorder.
Surprise.
So I do give my mom a lot of props because I
Yeah.
think she had an extreme amount to manage,
Mhm.
and that, like, she didn't lose her shit that much. I don't remember middle school being a fun, jolly time of lighthearted back and forths, but I think middle school was just a shit show in general.
Yeah.
But I think her way of parenting a lot of times was sort of to take the gas out of something. Like,
Yeah.
tomorrow's a new day. Like,
Yeah.
there was no welling, there's no wallowing, there was no dwelling, there was no, which to some extent, I think now what we do is we're like, how are you feeling? Let's talk about your
Yeah.
feelings. Let's really open it up. I'm like, sometimes it's just nice to sort of forget about it and think about, you know what, tomorrow's a new day. It's going to be a new thing. And I try to do that with Eleanor because I think sometimes it can be a little like, let me get my quill and my pen. Dear diary,
Well,
today I felt as though the girl that blocked me because of my satanic symbol is no longer my friend.
God, I really wanted to deep dive how Hard Rock was about Satan and pants, and now we're just talking about
Well, let's go back.
parenting. But
No, let's go back to hairbands. It's all I want to talk about.
well,
I had an emotional reaction last night when we
it
were
was great.
watching and listening to also music videos. Come on.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Like that. I mean,
I will say it. As we were watching all of those bands, I was like, am I aroused? And the answer is probably yes.
oh, guaranteed, because you kept saying you were.
Oh,
So
yeah. That'll do it. Let's
yeah.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
Casey's like, let's wrap up talking about being aroused during
I don't
watching
know. Well,
music videos. Go back in time, people. Do yourself the biggest favor. Close your door, lock your door, open your laptop.
Go onto YouTube.
Go look at old music videos that you have not looked at in so long.
Them.
And you're going to remember who you were, where you were, and how you felt, and get ready. And then maybe invite your husband in or don't.
I have a hot flash
Okay.
for today that is fun. I don't want to disappoint you, but I think
come
you're
on.
really going to appreciate
Well, I'm
it.
saying Aerosmith is mine. Steven Tyler.
Well,
I'm going to think about his mouth all day.
This is incredible. I got to thank Addison, my brother-in-law, for sending this. So it was a part of a tweet. I want to give the account credit. I'll put it in our stories on the podcast Instagram
It's not
page.
on there?
But was originally no, the person I need to give the credit to, it's not on there.
Okay.
But it's it was part of a tweet. The tweet is, at no point in this headline did I know what the next word was going to be. So my hot flash is Nacho Vidal. And I'll tell you why. Here's the headline. Spanish porn star Nacho Vidal,
Oh, God.
who likes to advertise his aromatic candles shaped like male genitalia on Twitter, has been arrested on manslaughter charges
Oh, my God.
following a man's death during a mystic ritual in which he inhaled psychedelic toad venom.
Is this real? Oh, my.
It's real. And I feel like that encompasses kind of everything we talked about today.
Yeah, that tweet is exactly the same, like, brain stem of our conversation today.
It's insane.
It went from feeling slightly guilty to overparenting to bringing it back to Steven Tyler.
Mystic rituals, psychedelics, male genitalia and tight pants.
I mean, we nailed it. All we need to do is make candles that are wieners. And
so, Nacho,
profit.
You got to be more careful in your rituals, man.
Where do you get those candles, Goop?
God, we're behind the time.
Guys, do we podcast?
I think so.
Pioneer.